Can you Neville Goddard your court case? For those of you who don't know the story, during World War II, Neville Goddard was drafted into the U.S. Army and stationed at a camp in Louisiana. He was 38 years old and deeply wanted to leave the Army, but only in a fully honorable, legitimate way. The regulations said a discharge required his commanding officer's approval, and that decision was final and not appealable. Neville followed procedure, filled out the paperwork, and his colonel promptly stamped it disapproved. Instead of trying to go over the colonel's head, arguing or fighting the system, Neville decided to rely completely on what he called the law of assumption. He went inward and treated his consciousness as the only true reality. Each night he would lie down as if he were back in his New York apartment, no longer a soldier, but already discharged and free. He didn't imagine a future event like a meeting or a request. He imagined the end state, life after the discharge, until it felt real to him. For several days, he lived in that inner state while doing nothing outward to push or manipulate circumstances. Then, about 9 or 10 days later, the same colonel who had rejected his request unexpectedly called him into his office, had him sit down, unusual for a private, and asked him if he still wanted out. After questioning him and listing reasons he should stay, the colonel ultimately told him to submit a new application. This time, the discharge was approved and Neville left the Army honorably. He presented this in his later lectures, such as The Hidden Cause, as a demonstration of the law of assumption. By consistently assuming the feeling of already being discharged and free, outer circumstances reorganized themselves to match his inner state, even though the system, regulations, and his superior officer's first decision had said no way. Okay, so how did he do it? He didn't beg, he didn't argue, he changed his state. He went home, lay on his bed, and imagined so vividly that he was already back in his New York apartment, free, discharged, living his normal life. He lived in that feeling until it felt real. And then the impossible happened. Orders, circumstances, people all rearranged, and he was out. Honorable discharge, system changed. So what does this have to do with family court? When you're in court, the judge, the lawyers, the GAL, the system can feel like the Army. Rigid, cold, there's nothing we can do. But Neville's story shows the deepest power is not in arguing with the system. It is in shifting your inner verdict, shifting your energy, changing your state, your consciousness, your self-concept, your identity as a free man or woman. So instead of obsessively scripting worst case scenarios, which is what you do when you worry and you have like these negative fantasies, yes, that's what it is. When you are imagining something going horribly wrong, you are creating. Sorry about that. So try this instead. Every day, step into the version of you who already has the outcome that you desire. Don't just visualize it, feel it. Close your eyes and feel. And feel, right? Not just visualize. The case is over. You have results. Your nervous system is calm. You are tucking your kids into bed in your home at night, feeling safe. Again, don't just see it. Wear it like clothing. Move through your day as if that reality is done and you're just walking it out in time, which, by the way, is true. Creation is finished. Time is an illusion. Everything is done. Every possible outcome is done. Your only job is to choose. Not through action, through your energy. The actions will happen automatically. Because when your brain believes it, your nervous system, which is part of your brain, which controls your body, will just naturally not only magnetize circumstances to rearrange themselves, but you will take the right actions. Okay, fine. So That doesn't mean ignore lawyers and evidence. Neville still went through the proper channels. You still show up, document, prepare, and testify, but you stop going to court as the desperate, powerless version of you, and you start going as the you who already knows this is working out in my favor. The system is rearranging on my behalf. Neville didn't manifest escaping the army. You can never do that. You can never manifest getting rid of something because we don't live in a no universe. Everything is inclusionary. You're not even manifesting winning a court battle. Neville manifested freedom, okay? Already being free. So you are manifesting already living in your new peaceful reality, whatever you want that to look like, and just letting the court be one of the scenes along the way. And that's really what it is right there, my friends. Court is a scene, but it's not the source. Do not give power to the 3D. The 3D is old news. The 3D is the printout of what has already been scripted in the computer up here. Ooh, that's a really good one. Like they say, the 3D is always behind you. It's like tire tracks, right? But you're the one driving the Jeep through the mud. You decide what direction you want to drive the Jeep in. But again, this isn't through action, it's energetically. Think of it as you're scripting. So in the morning, script your day through, again, feeling visualization, right? Like you're a method actor and you are just embodying the energy of that character who has the outcome that you want, and that's how you walk through your day. And then you don't let events in the 3D shake you. You're not always going to have swinging hits in court. It is a process. You might lose a battle. That doesn't mean you've lost the war. As Vadim Zeland says, my world takes care of me. Just like you can so easily, this is kind of outdated because I don't know who really reads paper newspapers anymore, but he had this example where you just go to the corner and drop your quarter in and get yourself a paper. Like you don't have any doubt that you can do that. That needs to be your attitude towards everything. But you set it up energetically, intentionally first. And again, you don't sit in your house and like magically will the newspaper to your front door. No, you still go through like the normal natural actions, but you're not giving power to those actions. You're not expecting those actions to make something happen. You understand that those actions are just revealing the outcome that already exists. So just get into the state. Think of the state as your verdict.